राम जय 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 राम ओम श्री राम 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 जय जय राम ओम श्री
घटित मेखला खचितमणि घंटिका पटल निनतेन विभ्राजमानम् घटित मेखला खचितमणि घंटिका पटल निनतेन विभ्राजमानम् कुटिल पद घटित संकुल शिञ्जितेयतम् कुटिल पद घटित संकुल शिञ्जितेयतम् चटुल नटना समुज्ज्वल विलासम् चटुल नटना समुज्ज्वल विलासं भावयामि गोपालपालं मनसेवितं तत्पदं चिन्तयेयं सदा निरतकरकलित नवनीतम् निरतकरकलित नवनीतम् निरतकरकलित नवनीतम् ब्रह्मादि सुरनिकर भावना शोभित पदम् निरतकरकलित नवनीतम्
जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम ओम श्री राम
എത്തനെ
राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय 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 राम
श्री राम
जय राम जय
जय
जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय श्री राम जय राम जय जय श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय जय राम हरि ओम to everybody. Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Pranam Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. So we have been going through the boats as a part of intensely remembering the wonderful classic In Quest of God, authored by Param Puja Papa in 1925. He would have done it in 1924. It came as a book in 1925. So, centenary of IQG now. We had gone through many a time, but again we will go through so that something of it gets reminded. The purpose is only not to learn it, not an academic exercise. He is with us, he has been with us, we were not aware, we are trying to become aware. And some points at some time, it will kindle and make our journey faster, about which we have no idea. He wills it. Many friends who come and attend, even yesterday, somebody was telling, I was about to ask this question, that was answered. So that is how he arranges. How he arranges, through what, no idea. But when once, as Papa has assured us, that when we take one step towards him, he takes 9 steps towards us. So that means whenever only thing is he is ensuring that whether we have got that intensity. The moment the intensity is registered, in his own mysterious way, he will provide us what is necessary to give a boost to our spiritual journey. That is the background. So with that, we covered 17 boards, yesterday. Anybody remembers any word in the any board?
Signature of God.
Swamiji,
Ah.
butter comes after churning.
Butter comes after churning.
Churning. Then,
Behold your beloved everywhere.
Behold your beloved everywhere.
yes, then.
Meditating and chanting.
Switch on the wire directly to God.
Switch on your wire for direct communication. God proposes, God disposes.
God proposes, God disposes. That's a beautiful word.
Yes.
Yes, then.
Switch on your wire for direct communication.
Meditative chanting.
Switch on your wire for direct communication.
Switch on your wire for direct communication. Why do you deny him in your heart?
Please, nature in all.
Let your service be done in a spirit of spontaneous love.
Spontaneous.
And he said signature
Yes.
of God. Constant dialogue. Constant dialogue.
Constant dialogue. Then,
Heartfelt prayer. Heartfelt prayer.
For speedy progress, knowledge and solitude.
signature. That is very important. In anything and everything, we try to see the master's signature. Means, we see the master has brought it out. Then, the master has got a master
The
plan.
remembrance of God always.
The remembrance of God always.
The master has got a master plan, no?
Optimism.
So I think.
Thorns and roses. Thorns and roses. Optimism. Roses. Optimism.
Optimism. Jagannatha Puri over, no? Tarakeshwar. Throughout his journey, he would meet people from all walks of life, from those who follow the rules in letter and spirit, to those who live precariously without much care about rules and conventions. For him, nobody is to be feared or frowned upon, and no deed was considered as weird or unbecoming. Everything is valid, no? Because it comes from him. So there is no prefix or suffix, no. That means the total acceptance, We can only intellectually understand. Every situation. Spiritual progress does not mean development only in one aspect of a human being. Very important one. His emotional, intellectual, dynamic nature should evolve simultaneously. Yesterday we forgot to say, impersonal aspect he was giving a lot of importance. At the same time, personal is valid. Impersonal person. In that quotation, God does not need an intermediary. That gives clarity. If you think God can talk through Ramdas, he can talk through you as well, because you cannot accuse him of partiality. We are all children, no? We are all children equally entitled to the grace of God. Not somebody is more, somebody is more, somebody is in less. Only the awareness of this makes them feel. If I am not aware of his presence, he is there, I am not aware of his presence. In Papa's case, he is there, he is aware of his presence. This is the difference. That's all. In both of us, it is there in full. But in one, they are aware of it. In us, we are not aware of it. So we are now struggling to become aware of it. Bhagavad Gita, in so many slokas, samam sarveshu bhudeshu tishtandam parameshwaram. I am equal in everybody. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishtam. Sarvasya cha. In everybody I am there. And thus speaks, the moment you open the first page, Papa emphatically, clearly mentions this. So as Papa's children, we should be very not centered on anything, only centered on Him, who is nameless, formless. Mataji describes as Nirguna Niragara Nirvikara Shashvata Ananda Swarup. This is the first in this small book. Human life is a rare acquisition. Its purpose is to know the Atman, by knowing which you have nothing more to know. Everyone must realize that the divine is within him. God is within your heart. You are His embodiment. You are He, but you do not know that. There is a veil of ignorance separating you from God. Remove the veil, first God, everything else comes next. You are He, but you do not know that. There is a veil of ignorance separating you from God. The microcosm is the macrocosm. The individual is the universal. God dwells in every being and thing in His entirety and perfection. That is why he says, it is not merely in holy persons and places that you should see God, but in all, everywhere, even in the marketplace. So he was not worried. Spiritual progress does not mean development only in one aspect of a human being. Emotional, intellectual, dynamic nature. It should evolve simultaneously. As a traveler without an itinerary, Papa often faced unsympathetic situations. He was never desperate nor frustrated. Instead, he found them as God-given tests to remain calm and unruffled. Like gold being melted and hammered repeatedly to make fine jewelry, these trying moments made him a finer being who is in tune with the grand designer. A point on which, we are, because all of us are subjected to various types of experiences, trying moments, for no fault of us. So we are likely to lose our lives. But here Papa's words, it is all because these trying moments made him a finer being who is in tune with the grand designer. Because the master has got a master plan. So he is subjecting us to go through this fiery or trying moment. It is all because of the grand designer. It will have some cushioning effect. We will be upset, no doubt, but some cushioning effect. Pujya Swamiji used to mention Mataji is, when Mataji apparently we say, loses temper or something, take everybody into task. So Pujya Swamiji used to say, that is like a line drawn on a sheet of water. There is a disturbance at the superficial level, nothing at the depth level. So that will be there, but nothing at the depth level. So as a traveler without an itinerary, Papa often faced unsympathetic situations, but he was never desperate or frustrated. Instead, he found them as God-given tests to remain calm and unruffled. Like gold being melted and hammered repeatedly to make the fine jewelry, these trying moments made him a finer being who is in tune with the grand designer. Man's eyes are open to the transitory nature of the world through the bitter experiences which he gains in the course of life. The transitoriness If we give a lecture, the transitoriness will not be learned by us. Now look back in retrospect our life. He gave us trying experiences, but we came out of it, And then we started thinking, this will also go away, this will pass away. Accepting Him, everything is changing. We have seen that right from our childhood days, the moment we started thinking about us as individual, till this moment. If we coolly and calmly sit and go through that, what all changes that have taken place in our life. And where are we now? At one time we thought we shattered, we lost everything. There is no hope. But we are still there, This is what he says. Man's eyes are open to the transitory nature of the world through the bitter experiences which he gains in the course of life. IQG, in quest of God, is a manual of daily life, because all these things, every day we are, and we need something to hold on, something to support us. So every now and then when we go through it and when we then and contemplate, something of it will remain with us. And when He makes us to pass through, there will be a shock absorber, cushioning effect. Papa's Himalayan journey took him to many ancient pilgrim centers, Haridwar, Rishikesh, Kedarnath, Badrinath. Huh?
Jhansi is not come. Before this
During his wanderings, Papa would often retreat to a quiet meditative place to be in communion with the divine. Like a dewdrop slipping into the shining sea. According to Papa, prayer and meditation are essential to destroy the veil of ignorance that clouded the soul. Another important point, yesterday also it came. Every now and then, retreat to a quiet meditative place to be in communion with the divine. Inward journey. Because only through an inward journey his presence can be at least felt for a trice, Not anything from outside, not anything from outside, not anything from outside. This is a very important point for all of us, because right from our childhood and even under the banner of spiritual journey, our mind goes out. So Papa is emphatic about it. In one of his articles, very forceful articles, the life of the individual must grow like a bud into a flower and the flower into a fruit. As we provide the necessary conditions and environments for the growth and fruition of the bud into a fruit, so also is it with life. In the life of the adult spiritual aspirant, this is very important. That's all right. In the life of the adult spiritual aspirant, The best discipline for his advancement and ultimate realization is the self-imposed discipline. Here, imitation and abject, implicit obedience to the law set by anyone, however highly evolved he may be, will, instead of bringing into being an illumined individual, only produce a human robot without initiative, all its inner powers and beauty unexpressed and unrevealed. Papa has been hammering this. It should come from within. Everything should come from within. It doesn't mean that there is no role for outside guidance. Yes, he clarifies. The keen aspiration for attaining the highest truth must be there. Contact with the divinely illumined personality must also be there. But the unfoldment of the hidden divine life and truth in the sadhaka must take place according to the nature and qualities of his inner and outer life and being. Because everyone is unique. Nobody can follow anybody. That is the simple truth. That is why Papa names gurus as awakeners. They show. They actually place before us the path they have chosen. But they are different from others, If there is only one path, why so many gurus? So the very fact that each one approaches this, because everyone is unique. That is why Papa always says that. Be the light unto yourself and in your own original way, This is very important. Be the light unto yourself and in your own original way bring out the magnificence in you. That should be there always. In your own original way. Be conscious always that you are repeating. Ramdas, it was here, take the name, utterance, sooner you begin to worship him in your own heart, better for you. People want everything to be done to them from outside. That is why their progress is very much retarded. You must be established in pure self-awareness by your own sadhana. Though the Guru may awaken you by his touch and turn your mind towards God within you. Ramdas never joined any organization for his spiritual growth. Guru within him mysteriously guided him and made everything easy for God realization. Then he found the best routes to be followed were those which his inner Guru set for him time to time. It is clear that our guide in such matters must be the Guru within us and not without. You may receive inspiration from saints and sages, but your inner growth will have to be in conformity with your nature. You cannot have spiritual unfoldment by trying to act according to another's instruction. Very blunt. You may receive inspiration from saints and sages, but your inner growth will have to be in conformity with your nature. You cannot have spiritual unfoldment by trying to act according to another's instruction. Attachment even to the person of the Guru is a hindrance. It's a bondage. You must transcend it. It may be useful in the beginning to free yourself from the attachment to other, but that is not the end. That attachment also must go in order to realize the self. You must look upon everybody as your Guru. The disciples can look within and get guidance only if they stop looking upon somebody outside for guidance. What is needed is that you should turn your mind within, and the best thing for that is to remain where you are and practice the disciplines prompted from within and finally get divine illumination. It is not good hanging on to the external form of the Guru for all time. You concentrate upon the form of the Guru for withdrawing your mind from other objects. Only so far worship of the Guru helps you, because the mind cannot at once melt away in the impersonal. You must have a sadhana which is independent. That is, not dependent upon external condition, form or environment. Wherever you are, you must be able to tune yourself to God within. So these are some of the ways by which Papa has revealed.
Be the light.
Be the light unto yourself and in your own way. Bring out the magnificent. That's the event. So the original, be original. That's what Papa wants us. Jansi, So for that, he wanted us to take to inward journey. In meditation, your mind should think only of God who resides within you and not wander about in the midst of passing scenes of the objective life. The mind going inward through the practice of prayer and meditation finds the presence of the divine first within, then without, everywhere. So first is we have to go within. Papa's Himalayan journey took him to many ancient pilgrim centers, Haridwar, Rishikesh, Kedarnath, Badrinath, the lofty peaks of mountains covered with rolling waves of clouds, and the holy Ganga that flows in all calmness and majesty awaited him. He walked on, losing himself in the divine splendor. He felt like a baby in his mother's lap as he was enveloped by a sense of serenity. For freedom from attachment, the most efficacious means is a recourse from time to solitude. The renunciation that is required of the sadhaka is the renunciation principally of attachment existing in the mind. A wonderful clue for all of us. A most efficacious means recourse from time to solitude. So he keeps on hammering this. For a spiritual aspirant, this withdrawing from our activities every now and then. It's a must. Because in the midst of activities, we are trying. But by the time we get slowly established, the next activity will take us away. Because the other norms come, rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes. That universality will not be there. So until we get stabilized in this, it is better to go to solitude every now and then to consolidate our earnings. Withdrawal. Then we can take stock. We evaluate. And when we become aware of the lapses, we can plead, appeal, cry, even punish us. You might be knowing probably, even after setting up this ashram in 1931, Papa resorted to fasting and water fast. Even after getting stabilized, from 1920 his spiritual journey started. In 2 years' time he was very clear before he started, left everything. And from 1922, the writings which we have reveal the evolution, but still, for reasons known to him, even in Kasargod ashram as well as here, after setting up this ashram, Papa resorted to water fast, not even Maun and water fast. Probably to remind us that it should not be 99%, it should be 100, no? And here we also get some idea about the renunciation. Far from the outer renunciation, what is needed is renunciation principally of the attachment existing in the mind. Mathura, Gokul, Vrindavan. Again, the personal aspect, how important it is. Papa acknowledged and adored both personal and impersonal vision of God. For him, both these aspects, Saguna and Nirguna, were complementary, not contrary or contradictory. In fact, the impersonal is manifested through the personal aspect. This we should not forget. Impersonal is the truth. It is expressed through the personal. God is both personal and impersonal. Truth is personal insofar as it works in the movements of individual life and the world nature. But it is also impersonal, as the eternal basis or foundation of the pure and spontaneous overflow of life and manifestation. We are naming compassion, no? In Bhagavad Gita, in one chapter, 12th chapter, he keeps on listing, who is my dearest devotee? So when he says, Adveshta Sarvabhudanam Maitra Karunevaja, malice towards none, friendship towards all, compassionate towards all, freedom from me and mine, equal mind in Sukha and Dukkha, like that he keeps on listing. Then only we become eligible to become his devotee. That is, likeness. So that is all impersonal, no? But we are naming it because it is expressed through some form. Otherwise, how will we know? You remember that incident? One day morning, a housewife, she was walking. Two youngsters were coming in the cycle. They snatched her chain and went out. She, of course, went to the nearest police station, lodged a complaint, came back. Her husband had a factory, and he explained. He went to the factory and came back. Evening, the police called them and said, we got the person as well as the mother. Please come here. So both of them, husband and wife, went there. They were in the lockup. So the chain was shown. Yes, there is the chain, yes. Then the police inspector asked, what should we do with them? You know what he said? If they promise that they will not do it again, from tomorrow onward they can come to the factory, I will give them work. Later on we found they became the most loyal. So Adveshta, So a value is coming out, where no malice towards none. But this we are in a position to explain. This we are in a position to explain through the form. If that incident has not taken place, how will we understand that? That is what Papa merely says. It is personal as the eternal basis or foundation of this pure spontaneous life. But the impersonal is manifested through the personal aspect. But the impersonal, unfortunately, we stop with the personal and we don't get, we appreciate the value in him as an individual to individual, so it doesn't go inside much. Some impact will be there, but not very serious. But suppose we try to see that God now, in order to make me aware, what is malice towards none? Oh, he brought out this through this. Suppose we see that, the impersonal aspect through the personal, then everything is valid. This is something very important. That is why he said, for him both these aspects, Saguna and Nirguna, were complementary, not contrary or contradictory. In fact, the impersonal is manifested through the personal aspect. The celestial music, Bhagavad Gita, it contains values, guidelines, hints, so many things to improve the quality of our life. But it was delivered to us through a human being. It is available in the form of a book, a physical form. So we get clarity about personal and impersonal. Though the emphasis is on the impersonal, personal has also got validity, relevance. Throughout this journey, Papa made no reservations for either transport or boarding. Wherever he reached, he would look around to see a vacant spot, no matter whether it was nauseating or not, where he can rest for a while. Some of these places were rather inhospitable and offered no comfort to his weary body. Still, he had no reservations about his stay or food. Liberation is possible only through the human body. Other species don't have this privilege. Only we have this privilege. Liberation is possible only through the human body. And to waste this life in pursuit of sense pleasures, instead of trying to reach God, is indeed pitiable. Body is only a vesture, a mask, or a vehicle, impermanent and transitory. The vehicle is necessary, no doubt. Because only through this body, we have got the, Puja Swamiji used to say, gateway to liberation. Human life is a gateway to liberation. So we have been privileged to get this. Because here we have been blessed with this discriminative faculty, to choose between right and wrong. This, probing nature, contemplating nature, meditating nature, focusing nature, analyzing nature. Not purely acting upon impulses. So this, having got this, we should not waste our life. So the relevance of this is in Raipur station. When he was sent out by the police and railway officials, because he was a ticketless traveler, he find at last a far off place where nobody disturbs in the platform. So there he went and started lying down. At that time, he could understand that it was a place used by people to pass urine. Naturally, you and I will have aversions. But he was able to accept it. He was seeing why God made him to do that. And suddenly when we started reading it, what came to us is, our own urine, no. Do we accept it? The food we ate in the morning or noon, after some time, when it becomes a stool, we don't accept it. So Papa mentions there the hollowness of the body. It has come from another body, that's all. He was able to reach that stage. Some of these places were rather inhospitable and offered no comfort to his weary body. Still, he had no reservations about his stay or food. His own words, Pa. The railway police objected and asked all of them to go out. He sought a place under a tree in front of the station within the compound. But here again the policeman interfered and drove him away. Knocking about for some time, he saw at last a spot under another tree in a far-off corner of the railway compound. As he had nothing to spread on the floor, he lay himself down on the bare ground. When his nose came in close proximity with the ground, he felt the strong smell of urine. "O Ram, how kind you are. You make your humble slave pass through every kind of experience, all for his good." This condition taught him further still what a folly it was to make much of the perishable body. It also tended greatly to make him find his true level, which is indeed very, very low. To afford him the benefit of his experience, "O Ram, thou alone appeared as the policeman and brought about these circumstances." Here Ramdas, the child of Ram, slept soundly till morning in the loving embrace of that all-powerful being Ram. Something for all of us to deeply think, Liberation is possible only through the human body, and to waste this life in pursuit of sense pleasures instead of trying to reach God is indeed pitiable. Body is only a vesture, a mask, or a vehicle, impermanent, transitory. Like an innocent child who would carry an umbrella to a gathering convened to pray for rain, Papa trusted God unconditionally to take care of him. Even when he was living in a jungle, infested with very many venomous creatures, he had no fear, for he knew he was in the ever-protective hands of God. A man without faith is a vacillating creature, vacillating between sorrow and fear, whereas he who possesses faith in the real, is the real hero who has conquered weakness and stands firm like a rock in the storms of life. Underneath his seat, there were scorpions, so many things, but nothing attacked him, even a venomous snake. Because he had no doubt, he had no fear at all. I have seen when we were in Wayanad, when we were working with a Jain, a person who will not carry anything, even in the most trying situations. Because he says ahimsa means, according to him, non-violence means abhayam, no? Absence of fear. From whom? When you are trying to identify yourself with the all-pervading nature, what is there? You don't see anything other. If something has to happen, something will happen. That's all. We don't add any prefix or suffix. We have seen it is possible, not merely for Papa. Many people it is possible. Ordinary people who are leading family life, professional life, social life. In their mind, no dvesha bhava. Absolute non-violence. So a man without faith is vacillating creature, vacillating between sorrow and fear, whereas he who possesses faith is the real hero, who has conquered weakness and stands firm like a rock in all the storms of life. We were sharing yesterday morning. In Wayanad, in good old days, there were a lot of wild animals. So to protect them, the government sanctioned double-barrel gun to all major estate owners. So the estate where we were working, we also have a double-barrel gun. And every year the only job is that you have to go to the collectorate, renew and come back. Nobody uses. So when the partition took place, when we were working with this Jain, he said, we don't want anything. And he was, on a lighter vein, he will say, if the gun is there, on a weak moment you may use it also. So why? God will take care. We are taken care of by Him up till the moment. Why should we fear? So no gun, no nothing like that. Even when we had to face violent situations by the laborers because of the politicians, when they threaten, they will manhandle us. Even at night, 12 o'clock, midnight, with nothing. Both of us were there in their midst. Nothing happened. He was very clear. When we don't have any ill will towards anybody, nobody can affect. Nobody can do anything. His life was a practical demonstration. While traveling in the Western India, Papa managed to visit contrasting terrains from high and mighty Girnar hills that got 10,000 steps to climb to the seaside town of Porbandar. By whatever he went, wherever he went, his sense of empathy and compassion towards his fellow beings, including animals, was intact, evident. It's a wonderful quotation. We have to learn it by heart, keep it in our mind always. The world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, that the world itself is our Guru or God. In Quest of God teaches us this, The world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is our God, Guru or God. Even if we fail 100 times, one time we may not lose our balance if this goes inside. Papa had an unwavering clarity and conviction about the path he has chosen. His faith in visionary saints was unshakable. His relationship with his friendly fellow travelers was not burdened by any expectation from his part. He was always positive, that's all. Even if in somebody's language we are misled, he did not take it. He did not get offended, feel offended. Still, he was very friendly with his fellow travelers. Surrender is of one kind, total only. It means dedication of your entire life to God. There is no such a thing as partial dedication. I-ness is not given up partially. I-ness is not given up partially. Total. During his travels, Papa sometimes met people who were going through tragic and painful situation in life. They were looking for solace and solution. Listening intently to their tales and travails, he would then guide them to the uplifting and reassuring hands of the Divine, offering them a safety net in the uncertain world. If we look at the problem raised as to why people suffer, why accidents happen, why people suddenly die or pass through long periods of agony, from the karmic standpoint, we find that suffering and death come to a man according to his past action. That means, we will not be tossed. My karma, I am working it out. We had a friend who was leading a well-placed life. Suddenly there was a setback. And he wrote to us. That was all because of my own prarabdha. Now free from grumblings and complaints. Anybody would have become shattered, but he did not lose. He said, no. If we look at the problem raised as to why people suffer, why accidents happen, why people suddenly die or pass through long periods of agony, from the karmic standpoint, we find that suffering and death come to man according to his past actions. So this gives a cushioning, Many incidents in his journey convinced him that God's ways are always inscrutable and he alone knows the why and the wherefore. Papa was always content with what he had and never wanted anything more, even when he was repeatedly offered. Feel always that you are in his hands and therefore always safe. With the weapon of God remembrance, you can dwell in the midst of temptations and remain unaffected. So the feeling of his presence, We did not plan our birth. Even the very body in its making, we did not have any role. When we came out, we did not bring anything. Everything has been provided to us by that power through its creation. So does it not know what to do and what not to do? So even if he makes us restless, disturbed, miserable, if we try to go through this, some soothing effect will be there. Not that we may be able to accept everything, reconcile everything 100%, but it will have some effect. Definitely it will have some effect. Feel always that you are in his hands and therefore always safe. With the weapon of God remembrance, you can dwell in the midst of temptation and remain unaffected. Many a times, Papa was saved miraculously in precarious situations. These events reinforced his faith and trust in his Savior and convinced him that he alone exists. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world is what God calls a butterfly. Be calm and serene in all situations with the thought of God in your mind. Be always brave and cheerful. You are truly under His protection. So now he is bringing the whole spirituality into a capsule, acceptance. We remove everything, Am I in a position to accept? Though not fully, to some extent. Am I in a position to reconcile with the changing situation of my life? Am I free from the dandvas, likes and dislikes, my rights and wrongs? These are all the litmus tests, No matter whom we follow, what discipline we continue, ultimately it should boil down to the quality of our life. That he says, be calm and serene in all situations, with the thought of God in your mind. Be always brave and cheerful. You are truly under His protection. A journey is an expansion in many ways. It opens new windows to the hitherto unseen world. For Papa, whatever he came across, nature, buildings, people, animals, everything extolled the glory of God. Seeing a cow, Papa was reminded of how God through this creation nourishes us without fail. To Papa, cow represents a grand ideal of all that is gentle, pure, self-sacrificing and innocent. To love all is the true bhakti of God, and to serve all is the real worship of God. During his journey, Papa was fortunate to get the darshan of many Mahatmas who inspired him with the exemplary lives they led and the universal values they kindled. Society of saints is the most effective means to awaken the heart to the consciousness of God. The aspirants should approach them in all humility with an attitude to receive their enlightening influence. Receptivity should be there, God has revealed so many things through that Mahatma, and God makes me to get in touch with him to imbibe that, Otherwise, I am the loser. The aspirant should approach them in all humility with an attitude of receiving their enlightening influence. Now we come to the last. Papa's journey that started from Mangalore came a full circle as he finally reached the Pandava caves near the town. To sum up, it was a journey that began in the background of frustration and utter restlessness, ended in the state of peace and serenity in God remembrance. First chapter, first para, first line says about the stressful time. Last chapter, last para, last line says about serenity. So then we try to wonder, from stress to serenity. The soul which is imprisoned within the toils of individualism now attains the bliss of perfect freedom. So, in quest of God is this. The soul which is imprisoned within the toils of individualism, the me and mine, now attains the bliss of perfect freedom. So that is how these...
Swamiji, self to self is also from stress to serenity,
No. Yes, you can say that. Arjuna was in a confused state, utterly confused state, and in the last chapter, last line of the Bhagavad Gita, last sloka, he says, Nashto Moho, I am clear of everything. Then afterwards Sanjaya says, but this is the last sloka of Arjuna. Nashto moha smritir labdva tvat prasadan mayachyuta stitosmi gata sandeham karishye vachanam tava. By your grace, Arjuna said, by your grace my delusion has been completely destroyed and I have gained wisdom. I am free of all doubt. I will do your bidding. So in that way, a self to self is also on the same line. It had not struck to us. Now when you point out, it becomes clear. Because first chapter is named as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The last chapter is named as Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. So Arjuna's Vishada, grief, that is portrayed. And the last one is freedom from delusion. So Bhagavad Gita is also another form of stress to serenity. Anyhow, so that is how we made from tomorrow onwards, we will go through some of the chapters where we have pointed out the points a little more elaborately, and so that when we do this brushing, polishing again, probably it might get some more clarity in our spiritual journey. Not that we are covering or trying to cover anything. Some activity by which, some effort. When I say effort, one Gandhiji's one quotation, it was very, very, very appropriate. Many people ask for initiation of Ramnam, or initiation from their Guru. Here we have also witnessed many who have taken. Many people used to say, senior people, I have taken initiation from Papa himself or Mataji. But still, the sankalpa they had, it is still a distant reality. Gandhiji clarifies this effort, that's where I remembered. In my humble opinion, effort is necessary for one's own growth. It has to be irrespective of results. Ramnam or some equivalent is necessary, not for the sake of repetition, but for the sake of purification, as an aid to effort. Effort is important for direct guidance from above. It is therefore never a substitute for effort. We should be very clear about this. Just because I take an initiation, no. It is therefore never a substitute for an effort. It is meant for intensifying and guiding it in proper channel. A very thought-provoking. Effort is necessary for one's growth. It has to be irrespective of results. Ramnam or some equivalent is necessary, not for the sake of repetition, but for the sake of purification, as an aid to effort, for direct guidance from above. It is therefore never a substitute for effort. It is meant for intensifying and guiding it in proper channel. So effort, that is important. So tomorrow let us see what is in store for us. Let us try to go through it again. Remember as many points as 32 boards were there. At least if a few points stick to us, it's a great gain. that is enough. That is enough. 1 or 2 points from this 32, if it stays with us, that is enough. The master of the master plan, the master's signature,
Optimism. Optimism. Optimism.
optimism, something like that, whatever you feel like.
Total reliance on him.
Reliance, always having adjusting to any circumstances, total reliance, anything, you just go through it again and again and again. If we catch hold of one that align, there is an inner alignment that when it gets aligned, that we can fan it and then blow it. That is what is called, manana, contemplation, not hearing. Sravana will not do much help, but manana and Sravana, manana, nididhyasana. So hearing alone will not help. Deeper contemplation is necessary and meditation is necessary. So let us take not the whole text, at least 1 or 2, and try to pump in as much as of our effort. And it will definitely have its own telling effect in our thoughts, words and deeds. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram.